Hey everybody, SKEET REESE here. We're going to talk a little bit about bluegill beds, brim beds, shellcracker beds. You know, depending on what part of the country you're in, so it can start in March, April, May, go all the way through August, depending on what part of the country you're in. But there's no doubt that when those bluegill get up there, the shellcrackers get up and start making these beds, and you know how they look like a bunch of potholes, little moon craters up there, bluegill spawning all over. If there's a big bass around, he's going to be near that bluegill bed. And it's just like a big buffet table for them. They sit back, they wait, and one scoots off, they pop it off. And I've seen big schools of largemouth come in and desecrate an entire bluegill bed within 2 days. It's pretty amazing. There's several techniques that I use to catch them, and there's some soft plastics I use, wacky rigs, stuff like that. A jig can work good, but as far as reaction baits, which is how I prefer to catch them, just because I want to be able to fish faster, is kind of a, it's a 1-2 punch. So if there's a little bit of a ripple, a little bit of wind blowing over something, a 1.5, there's a BlueGill, which is, just a great bluegill imitation. They will absolutely crush this thing. So in a little bit windier conditions, overcast conditions, I will fish that. Now, if you got slick calm conditions, overcast or sun, doesn't matter. Probably one of my favorite baits is the G-Splash 80. And it's a ghost minnow. It's got the orange throat on it. Makes me feel like it's like a bluegill. Sometimes I put a chartreuse feather tail on it to give it, a little bit more of a glow. But the thing about fishing bluegill beds is that on top water, it's trying to make sure your bait stays in a smaller area. You're not trying to cover a lot of water and get it out of the zone quick, because sometimes the strike zone is only within maybe 3-4 feet. So trying to create as much action as you can out of top water in that small area. So that's where a popper becomes super efficient. You can skip this under tree lines where it might be some bluegill beds. So it's a great way to catch topwater fish. And one of the more popular ways for a lot of guys is fishing prop baits. So this is a Kelly J. It is it's a bluegill shaped body, bluegill color, and it's just something that goes and you're making them blades spit, kick a little water out there, but you can just let it sit. So deadly way for catching bluegill, brim bed fish, Kelly J, G-Splash 80, Lucky Craft 1.5. So that's my little Lucky Craft tips for you if you're gonna be fishing some bluegill beds.